Okay, just checking to see we get the stream up and running. And looks like we're live. Hello everybody. So let's see if anyone's joining us just yet. Nobody's here just yet. We'll just wait for someone to turn up. Making sure all the audio is working. Sounds good. Nobody's watching yet. What have we got happening here? Okay, we've got one person watching. Might as well get started. A couple of minutes in already. So, hi everyone. This is my third live stream. I'm trying to do this every Saturday. Currently it's 10 PM here in Australia, where I am. And I believe it's about 10 AM in New York, about 2 PM in London, and about 7 AM in Los Angeles. So wherever you are, a big hi or a big g'day from Australia. Today we're going to talk about anything you want to talk about, of course, in the live chat. But as you can see on the screen to there, I've got the Arturia Pigments open. This is the new wavetable VST synthesizer that they released right at the start of this year, and let's have a little listen, a little play while we're getting into it. This thing is going to be big, and what's really cool about it is it's pretty cheap to buy, and you're getting kind of the same sort of level of brilliance that you get in some of these really expensive hardware synthesizers, like for example the Waldorf Quantum. Let's just have a quick. This is the first time I've ever seen really this properly, so let's have a little look around the interface here. So it looks that you've got two engines. So you've got, you can choose what you want to run in the engine, whether it be an analog, virtual analog I'm guessing, or a wavetable. And then with the wavetable you can choose from a whole heap. There's heaps. There's transforming, synthesizers, process building. Well, it's just massive what actually is already pre-installed in here. Okay, not only that, but you can actually upload your own wavetables as well, and we might give that a go a bit later. So there's your two engines. So let's have a look at which one is doing all the movement. So we're getting movement on this filter over here, which is a brilliant little idea where you're getting that sort of wah sound. That's pretty cool. So they're the two engines. It's got two filters. Now with the filter, it's got a whole bunch of different types of filters in here. You've got low pass, band pass, high pass, notch, and a phase filter. While I'm doing this, why don't we make this screen over on the right full screen, and hopefully we can still see and hear everything. Can you still hear me? Let me know if you can hear me okay in the chat, and let me know if the sound's coming through okay. Okay, so what else have we got? We can route the filter, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there which we could probably dive into in a minute. Right, now down the bottom is a whole bunch of settings. So this is your velocity, aftertouch, mod wheel, keyboard, expression pedal, envelope VCA, envelopes 1, 2, 3, LFO 1, 2, 3. I don't even know what functions are, so that's something that we probably need to check into. And then you've got this random stuff here. You've got Turing random generator, sample and hold, and a binary. Then you've got combinate. I don't even know what that does. And then these are memory macros that you can use as well. So this stuff is massive. Down the bottom you've got the keyboard, which you can play with your mouse, or you can use a MIDI controller like I've got, which you will see right here. There's me playing the Arturia. Okay, you've also got envelopes, and as I said before, there's 3 of them, and you can visually draw these envelopes, or you can adjust them here. You can choose what source that triggers the envelope, and you can choose the mode of the envelope. So when set to ADR, the gate length is ignored. So that's pretty cool. What else have we got? You've got a release link as well. So this envelopes are pretty cool. So that's envelope, LFO, 3 LFOs, and reset source. I'm just trying to work out with the LFO whether we get a waveform here, but it doesn't look like we do. There's a couple of different ones. Maybe we can draw it. Aha. Okay, so yeah, so you adjust the waveform with this waveform knob. I didn't even notice that. So that's really cool. Okay, and functions. I don't even know what this does. Maybe I need to look that up, but anyway, so this, I'm guessing it's a function generator. As I mentioned before, you've got 3 random generators. You've got the Turing method, sample and hold, and a binary. With binary, it's just on and off. Combinate. So combinate, I'm guessing, yeah, so you can multiply a source, modulate it, and you can give it a type, and that will give you the combined result mathematically. So that is also cool. This thing is massively deep. Alright, what else? There's a stack of presets in here. So you can filter it by type. Bass, brass, keys, lead, sequence, strings. Let's have a look at a digital string. Okay. One thing to notice too, this Mac that I'm using, it's an old Mac. It's a Mac Mini 2012. It's maxed out as much as I can with SSD drive in it, and I think it's got 16 gig of RAM. But I think it's only a Core i5 processor. And just check out up in this top right hand corner, or you can, or down the bottom here of the pigments, you can see the CPU. This thing really punches the CPU. Watch this. So that got to nearly 50% CPU, and I was only playing about 3 or 4 notes. I think it might be time for me to upgrade my computer. Okay, and modulations. Very, very cool. Don't forget to say hi in the chat. Apologies for the car going past. Don't forget to say hi in the chat. I am here. I'll just, for those who have just joined, I'll show you. Hi, I'm here. So we're just showing the Arturia Pigments software, and we can also chat about anything you like. Anyway, back to the Mac screen. Right, what else have we got? Whoa, come back. I was looking at the categories. Let's have a look at some pads. We've got a heap of pads in here. Polydreams, let's try that. Okay, so remember before we were looking at the engines, and you can either have a wavetable or an analog engine, and if you have an analog engine, you can have 3 oscillators. So let's just turn off the wavetable engine. So we're just listening to engine 2 right now. Let's have a listen to our 3 oscillators. It's quite nice. What does it sound like with the filter? So this is a SEM filter. Okay. It's quite a nice filter on that, I have to admit. I'm pretty impressed. Alright, now let's go and turn on my mouse has, there we go. Let's turn on the wavetable engine now, and let's have a look at that. Okay, so you can still hear the synth. Let's turn the synth engine off and let's listen only to the wavetable. So you can control over here the position of the wavetable, and you can control that with an LFO. So you can see that is moving backwards and forwards, and I'm guessing it's this LFO here. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it's this LFO that's controlling that. So it's pretty cool. Okay, now let's investigate this stuff, because I think we all are pretty much okay with oscillators, right? Let's investigate wavetables, and we can play around with frequency mod, phase distortion, and wave folding. And you've got different types of frequencies. You've got linear and exponential. With phase mod, you've got you can modify it with the keyboard, with an oscillator. In this case, it's using the oscillator, so I'm guessing it's using the third oscillator here because the volume of that one's turned down. Hi Marco, thanks for joining. So I just noticed you in the chat there whilst I was busy looking at the screen. I'll just quickly... Hello! Ask me any questions you like. This is the Arturia Pigments. I'll just quickly say hi in chat. There we go. Okay, so we can muck around with frequency mod, phase distortion, and wave folding. Let's have a look at wave folding. Let's see if we can do this. And I'm guessing that's how we do it. Let's try it now. Alright, now let's add in the engine. Sounds really, really nice. Alright. What else can this thing do? So, let's change the wave. And like I said before, we had a whole bunch of different waves in here. And this one is using the Pro VS waves. Let's change it to the Micro Boot Metallizer. So it's loading that. Whoa. Okay, let's have a listen to that on its own. Can we turn this up a little bit? And we can see this fine-tune thing going crazy here. I like this over here, it's just wiggling. So we're getting a bit of a wiggle on our tuning. It gives it a bit of an analog tone. Great point there, Marco. This is a Mac, and the video card on Macs aren't usually upgradable. In this case, it's a Mac Mini, so it's actually just the CPU. It's an Intel CPU, so it's using the Intel graphics, whatever it's called, the Intel graphics thing that's built into the CPU. So there's nothing I can do about graphics on this, but definitely the machine that you're seeing the stream from is a lot more beefier than this Mac. It's got a 1080, it's a PC running a 1080 graphics card, so that would definitely run this Pigments a lot better. But it's not clipping yet, so I'm okay with it so far. Okay, so let's change that to something different. Natural. Let's try a didgeridoo. Sounds pretty incredible, I have to admit. What do you guys think of the sound of this Pigments plugin, VST plugin? I'm actually using Ableton Live beneath this, and I'm actually using the audio unit version. So it's actually not a VST. I'm actually using you can see just here, I'm using the audio unit version of the Pigments plugin. Let me know what you want me to do with Pigments. This is the first time I've ever used it, so I'm kind of feeling a little lost. I don't have a manual in front of me. I'm just using my basic synthesis knowledge here. I don't really know a lot about wavetables, other than I understand that what we're looking at here is a sample, and this is moving along the granular part of that sample. So it's changing the position, and that's how we're getting that different sound. This is a didgeridoo, so this might sound better on a lower. One thing we haven't looked at yet is effects, and I'm guessing there's quite a lot of effects in this. Yeah, there is. Look, it's got bus A, bus B, and a send bus as well. So this is pretty big, and that's just inside Pigments. Don't forget, then you can also layer on your effects inside your DAW on top of this. So let's just try something out here. This has got reverb, chorus, and a phaser. Alright, let's try. There's nothing on bus B. Let's add a delay. And what have we got? Let's add a ping pong. Oh yeah. So can we turn off this effects bus? We can. Ah, gotcha. Right, so we can turn each one of these effects off here. And now we're just listening only to the delay. And we can make that a little bit wetter. Maybe add some verb. It's very muddy with that reverb there. Maybe just try the chorus. Bit too rich. Let's try just the phaser. It's quite nice. Now let's add that synth engine back in. I would have to say those effects are quite nice. I mean, we'd have to go through each one of those effects and listen to them on their own and just see what we like. Like, maybe if we could just look at the reverb. I thought it sounded a little bit muddy with that reverb. So we could try a different reverb. Let's try... echoes? I think it might have been on that. Oh no, that's different. You can hear more of a... Let's turn that delay off. No, it was off, wasn't it? Good. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a modulated reverb, that one. What about a hall? Okay, let's get the size of the hall happening. and delay happening. Wow. It's still going. That's a big delay. I wonder if that echoes one got bigger. It's the same. Okay. Cathedral. This is probably going to be huge. You know what we could do is we could just listen to just the delay. Very, very big delayed on that one. Let's shorten its life. So just even just playing inside the Pigments thing, you can just get some incredible sounds. Just, you know, just go crazy. And that's just literally just mucking around with the presets here. Let's have a look at the sequencer. Wow, this thing is huge. Typical Arturia sequencers, they're just full of features. So what do we got? We've got an arpeggiator. Let's have a look at an arpeggiator. Maybe we'll choose a different patch. Let's try a lead. Okay. It's a little bit too... Alright, let's try this. Oh, that sounds horrid. Alright, we got a delay happening on this. You can hear that hiss sound. That would have to be one of the effects. Yeah, we've got a bit crushy thing happening here. So we can turn some of these effects off. Where's that coming from? It's coming from the actual wavetable. Interesting. Okay, we won't use that. Just don't like the sound of that. Whoa. Alright, let's try that with the sequencer. Okay, so that's the ARP. Now let's have a look at the sequencer. And what do we need to do? Alright, so we've got pitch here. Okay, so you set your notes. C, E, C, E, G. And then we'll set the length of that. How do we set the length? Bueller, anyone? Maybe it's not settable. Well, I was quite surprised to see a sequencer in here anyway. I'll turn that off. So it's basic arpeggiator with up and down and random. So there's not a huge amount. But the sequencer, I guess, could be technically an arpeggiator. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay. What do you guys want to see in Pigments? Or what do you guys want to talk about in Pigments? Anything? Do you want to have a look at more wavetables? So you can build waveforms. Like a polygon harmonic. Okay, let's turn off that second wavetable. Just having those two engines is massive because, you know, you can combine two different wavetables together, or you can combine a wavetable and an analog synth together, which is just huge. And what about loading your own imported? And I guess then you'd have to click on this button here, and then you would go and find your own. Guess we could probably do that. Why don't we do that whilst I take a little tiny break from Pigments for a sec. Wave folding. Can it do wave folding? Can it? Audio rate modulations of some of the parameters. Okay, we can definitely try that. Right. So let's go back to our full screen. Whenever you've got a patch and it's called That's Nasty, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty nasty. It's not very nasty. Maybe if you turn that on. Alright, now let's have a look at modulation. So, this LFO3 Marco, this LFO3 is running at audio rate. You can see here. You can just see how fast that's running now. That is actually an audio rate. So what is this modulating? It's free running too, which means it's not synced to the clock, and it is what is it modulating? Let's get it to modulate. The position of the wavetable. Just really crazy. Okay, so how do we do that? We go into there. Guessing it's that. Okay, LFO3. There we go. So you adjust this little slider here, and you can see that thing is just going crazy. So what does it sound like? That's probably too crazy. Let's not do that. Let's audio rate modulate the filter. So bang, and LFO 3. While we're at it, we'll modulate the wavetable with LFO 1. That's going reasonable. I'm thinking no to modulating that. And I'm thinking that the analog, where is it? How do I modulate this? Okay. The tuning is going crazy. So I've got modulation going. Now you wanted to know about wave folding. You might have to tell me what wave folding is, because I don't know how to do that in here. Or do I have to Google it? Phase distortion. Okay. Oh yeah. There it is there. Alright, can we modulate this? What do you guys want me to modulate this with? LFO 1, 2 or 3? First person who says what they want. You can change the amount, right? But then you can actually have that. You can actually have that controlled by an LFO as well. Okay, let's see what that listens. Turn off the analog synth. Let's just listen to this wavetable. Okay, turn it off. Turn off the LFO so it's just the amount. Alright, now let's just make the LFO 2 controller. Let's turn down the sync of that. Okay, let's try 3. You can't even see it. It's just going so fast. That's crazy. It just sounds like someone's just wobbling a knob like as fast as their fingers before they drop off. Okay, let's try the shape. Change the shape to like a noise. Let's see what that does. Lo and behold, it's actually getting noisy. I think we're going to need to dampen that down a bit. There we go. That's crazy. Alright, let's do the LFO2. And change the LFO2 to a sine. Okay. Alright, let's add the synth engine back into it. I mean, it's just, to me, it's like this sort of stuff, you'd be mucking around with it for hours and hours. At the moment, it just sounds like you've just got two instruments playing together at the same time. Because I'm so crap at this. But yeah. Anyway. That's a really, really good wavetable option there. I just think that's really, for the money, that is really, really good. Very impressed. Who wants to see what video I'm working on right now? I'll give you a sneak peek. Over, let's go to here. Behind me here is my, you know, when you watch all my videos, I've got that green mat. So that will be, I think it's this one. Boom. So over there, I've got a Roland SEO2, and I've got it playing a sequence at the moment. And the video I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going through, basically, you know how you can get the Korg Minilog and the Monolog, and they've got that oscillator little window. I'm going through the SEO2 so you can actually visually see what the oscillators look like when you change them and modify them and everything. But let's just have a little listen to see what that sequence sounds like. I'm not going to be able to walk over there and change it, but anyway, let's turn that on. And add some delay. So yeah, that is what I'm doing at the moment. A little sneak peek for you guys, because you've come and joined me on chat, on a live chat. You get to see what I'm filming right now. I actually haven't finished filming it. I'm in the middle of doing that right now. And I can just bring that up actually over here. So yeah, so basically the whole purpose of this video is to I guess show ways in which we can actually you know, visually see what we're doing while we're soundcrafting. And that little oscilloscope thing that you see there, I actually built that from an eBay kit that you can get for about 20 bucks. So it's extremely cheap. And yeah, you got to solder in all the resistors and capacitors, and it was a pain. It was an absolute pain, but you know, a couple of hours work and you've got yourself a little oscilloscope, which I like because it's kind of tiny and it sits there and it's neat. Now you could use an iPad, you could use your PC or your Mac if you wanted to do that. You might notice just to the left of the screen there, I've got a Microsoft Surface. You could use an app on the Surface, but then you'd have to hook everything in. So basically what I've got is the audio that's coming out of the SEO2 is going out through a splitter, and it's sending the signal directly into that oscilloscope. So, and the other half of the split is going into whatever recording. You can't see it. There's like a rack-mounted sound interface by Presonus there. But that way I'm getting it raw, straight. That's not going through anything. It's coming straight out of the SEO2. And yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty cool. That's just an inbuilt preset. The SEO2 is huge. It's really, really big. A lot of people give it hate because it's got tiny little knobs on it, but believe me when I tell you, this is very not Roland-like at all. But the only thing that's Roland-like on this is all the digital, sequences and stuff down the bottom. But the whole layout of this is very Moogy, very, very much so. Studio Electronics do a lot of modular gear for Moog. Well, not for Moog, but based on Moog designs. And, this is pretty much like very close to being a Model D in its sound, but add a whole bunch of extra features that will just take this to different, degrees of craziness. But like, it's very cool. It's a very cool synth, and if you can put up with having little knobs, I think most people would find it actually pretty good. I don't mind having little tiny knobs to play with on synths. It doesn't really worry me. You get used to it. So you can see here in that setup there, I've got the Arturia key step, and that's really all you need, just a set of headphones and that, and you can sound design. This thing it's deeper than anything that is in that particular class. Like, if you look at the Behringer Mini, the Behringer Model D doesn't have anywhere near the features this has got. If you look at the even the Sub 37 by Moog, it doesn't have the sequence of features this has got. The subsequent 37 might be on par with it, but there's differences, and obviously the form factor and everything, we won't even go there. But it's actually, got so much under the hood. Yes, you have to do a lot of functions and menu diving, but it's actually pretty well laid out, and I'm going to go through that in the video too, so you'll get to see that. But enough of that. Hey Rocco, nice, thanks for joining us, and thanks very much for the whatchamacallits, the donations. Much appreciated, mate. Awesome. I believe it's, all the different time zones during the world. It's hard for people. They've got things to do on Saturdays, but I have to find a time that, other people are watching, other YouTubers and things like that during the week. So I've got to find a time where I can do these videos. I haven't got kids running around the house screaming, and also I've managed to find this time where you guys are awake. And I know it's in the afternoon in the UK and in Europe, and it's in the morning over in America. So, it's as good as I can get it. Wife made me go shopping early today too, so I feel you, mate. I feel you. We all have these lives that we've got to run, but 10 o'clock at night here, or getting late, nearly 11 o'clock at night here, and I get to play with synths in front of you guys. It's nothing better. This is the best. This is, this is cool. So what else can we do? So we had the pigments up, didn't we? Come back. Is everyone kind of fat and happy with the pigments? Is that yeah, no worries, matey. You can. It'll be up. Once the video is finished, it'll automatically just be up on the channel. So yeah, go for it. I think I'm probably finished with pigments, other than maybe loading my own wavetable in there, which I'll probably do in more of an in-depth video on this. But this is really just my first touch on this thing, and I've never actually used one of these before, so I'm very green and very new to this, and all I'm doing is just applying my knowledge with basic synthesis to this. I think this is probably going to be a really cool thing that you can use. What would be nice is if they made an iPad or a tablet version of this. I reckon that would be awesome. I don't know if they'd be powerful enough for the tablet. So I mean, as you could see before, the CPU meter on this was going crazy. So you might have to use an iPad Pro or something for this to work. But that would be incredible, because then you could have this sitting next to your hardware and, you know, working together. I think that might be a cool thing. What do you guys think? You happy for it to be a VST, or do you think it should be like a tablet? I'm just trying to run this, you know, my third live stream, and I'm just trying to run everything here. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat, and you guys are talking to me, and that's awesome. Big hi to Fluid SC. Cool. So 10 more minutes and I think we'll wrap it up. But do you guys want me to cover anything? It doesn't have to be about pigments. Like, if you want, I can close pigments down. I can cover anything in well, actually, while I'm waiting for you to post your questions up, what I might do is I'll quickly tell you about a problem that I was having today. So I've got this Studio 192 interface from Presonus, and it's something that I haven't really used a lot of. It's been sitting in my rack, and I thought I'd get it out today, and I actually set it up back over there where I do my videos, and I want to start using it because it's got 8 inputs on it, and then on top you can put 2 ADAT modules on top of it, and you can have up to something like 32 inputs, analog inputs on this thing. It's crazy. Anyway, so setting it up, you can see that way down the bottom there. You can see that's the SEO2 going through that at the moment. That's that signal going through. But the problem I had with it is when I plugged it in and I was trying to get it to work on my Surface, which is there on the left, it just wouldn't recognize it. I had to install the universal control software, which is what you can see here, and basically the whole Surface would load the universal control, but it wouldn't see this. So basically, when you turn on universal control, this is what you get, but you don't get any of this stuff below. So basically the window stops here underneath the word universal control, and you don't see any of the Studio 192 stuff below it. And I was updating the firmware, I was uninstalling it, reinstalling it, restarting it, updating Windows updates. It would not work no matter what. As soon as I plugged it into the Mac, bang, no problem at all, worked fine. So I've actually sent off a support ticket to Presonus for them to solve, because I just gave up in the end. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but my background is computer science, so I'm fairly good with computers, I hope. I mean, I should be. I've been doing it for like 25 years. But sometimes even things like that, if it's something inside the hardware that's causing a problem and you just can't get access to all the drivers and things like that, you've just got to handball it back to them and say, hey guys, what the hell, just fix it. So yeah, I'm human just like you guys, and sometimes I might be doing videos and this might insert itself as a problem, and that's just wasted half a day for me, and that means half a day I haven't been able to record any videos. So you know, it kind of sucks, but I worked it around it by using it into the Mac. So the way I got around it was behind me where you see the light and you see where I had the videos recorded, I ran an extension USB 3 cable all the way up to here. In this corner here is where my Mac MIDI is sitting, which is the screen that you're looking at right now, and it's fine. And I just thought, well, I'll just do that. And then it just means that I just got to walk across the other side of the room and hit record. But that's fine. What I love about this though is that now that it's connected, I can grab an iPad and use the iPad as a remote control. So if I want to change, especially with if I'm using a mic, I'm going to be playing around with the compressor and the EQ to get the mic sounding right. Because one of the things I've noticed with my videos, I'm using a Zoom mic at the moment, and they're just not. I'm just not happy with the audio through on my voice. So that's just something that I'm really trying to improve right now. But to do that, I'm going with a more higher class interface, and it's got all of these features like the compressor and the EQ, and I think it's even got a limiter. Yeah, it's a limiter in there as well, which is pretty cool. And I'll have that set up, and I'll use a Rode. I think it's called an NT1 or an N1, the big mics. I'll use one of those to record my voice in future videos. So yeah, that's what stopped me from recording this video today, because I was playing around with this. So yeah, just wanted to let you know, if you guys had dramas with your setup lately, just let me know in the comments in the chat. And yeah, you'll just realize that we're all human, we all have these problems. So getting back to, where's my Ableton gone? Back to Ableton. Once I actually installed it and it's all working in Ableton, if I go Command, comma, you can see here, let's go full screen for you guys because it's hard to see. So you can see here that I've got my Studio 192 here, and I'm coming, so that's the stuff coming in, and I'm actually going out through a mixer, which is another Presonus. It's called a Studio, what's it called? A Studio Live mixer, which is another digital mixer. But then I can set up my input config. Now, at the moment, it's finding 26 inputs on the Studio 192, which is huge. I mean, I don't need that over there in my little video corner. And on the output, I've got 16 channels that I can output to, but I'm just using the 2. So you can see that the audio is coming in through that Studio 192 and out through my mixer. And if I click on this, you'll hear the SEO2 again. And then out of my mixer, which is, where are we? You guys might be able to see actually if I go to which video, take that off, turn that on, and if I move this forward, there's my mixer. So it comes out of there from the like the monitor output, and it goes into the audio interface for me to stream. So basically it's combined everything into one, and I can just do that through Ableton, which is really cool. So yeah, still got a couple of people watching. If those who've only just joined us, what we've done today, we've been on the live stream now for about an hour. We've looked at Arturia Pigments, and I did a really bad stumbling over it for the first time. I've had a few of you guys help me, which is good, but it sounds amazing, this. So when the video gets posted up, which is probably only going to be about 10 minutes after we finish the live stream, you can go back and check through that. And yeah, what can see my ranzee coffee mug. tell me, guys, if you guys have made your own albums too. Like, I'd love to know. Like, I just noticed there's my Link CD, which is my latest album that I released in January this year, and I've been, you know, busy. I actually designed the cover and everything. If those who know me, you'll notice all these just thumbnails that I've got from all of my old SoundCloud posts. And yeah, I just use CD Baby to print that. So I know CDs aren't really a thing of today anymore. Most people just digitally download everything. So I like it. I've got an old Technic CD player from the 80s, and it's awesome. It's actually got on the actual CD player itself, it's got a little headphone socket on there. So when you plug your headphones in, you're actually listening to the audio directly off the CD player, not through an amp or anything, and it sounds amazing. Like, you know, it's one of the first CD players that Technic's made. It's incredible. So I love that sort of stuff. And yeah, so next week, topics. What do you guys want me to go through? I was going to get out the Behringer Model D and pop it on here tonight. I was going to do that tonight, but I thought what I like to do is I like to sometimes try new things out, especially things that I've never really touched, and I don't want to do like an official video on it because it's me just playing and you guys are kind of seeing me stuff up at the same time. But do you want me to do something on the Behringer Model D? Don't forget, I've got another video coming out. Geez, it might be tomorrow morning my time, which will be this evening your time if you're over the other side of the world. That one's automatically coming out. That's going to be on something to do with the iPad and the audio fuse interface. I've done a few of those now. And then you'll have the next video after that will be on the SEO2. But yeah, next Saturday we can do Behringer Model D. Oh, good news too. On its way in next week, I should be getting a Korg Volca modular. So been waiting for one of those. Who's got one of those? Any of you guys in the chat got a Korg Volca modular? Sing out if you do. Absolutely really excited about this thing. I've got not all of the Volcas, I've got most of them, but it's the new ones that have come out in NAMM I haven't got. This is the first of those new ones. But the thing that really interests me about this is it's modelled after the Buchla, and a lot of people are saying that it sounds just beautiful. So when I get it, I'm going to play with it. Maybe that's what we can do the live stream on next Saturday, because hopefully I'll get it before then, and I won't have a chance to do a video on it by then, I don't think, anyway. So do you guys want me to do the Volca modular as a live stream? I was asked by a few people to get out the multimeter and check to see what the voltage is like from those little tiny pins, so we can look at things like that as well. And something else that I've ordered, and it's on a pre-order, so I don't know when it's going to come, is the new Behringer VC340, which is the vocoder string machine synth, and that it's saying that it's going to be about 2 to 3 weeks away. But knowing Behringer, I don't believe it, but we'll see. I'm really excited about getting this. I love string machines, and those who know me, I use the Strike Fet all the time, so that's going to be really, really super cool. And obviously once that comes, there'll be videos on that, but like I said, I don't know when it's going to come. So do I use any other DAW? Yes, I definitely do, and I'll show you which other DAW I use. It is called Studio One. This one. Let me show you why. This is the other DAW that I use. It takes a little while to load, but I actually really like this DAW. Probably I'm starting to get a bit sick of Ableton. Been using it for years, so yeah. Presonus have done an amazing job of this. So on my SoundCloud channel, I did this song called Expanse, and I actually did the whole thing inside. Oy, what happened? It crashed. Let's close. I think it's because I've got too much open. Let's close this down. There we go. Try that again. That's better. This is an old Mac Mini, so I need money to get more expensive stuff. Here we go. Please don't crash. But okay, so what is good about Studio One compared to Ableton? It's really just the interface. It's whether you gel with the way the interface works versus the other. Ableton's kind of like you've got session view or you've got arrangement view. This is kind of different. You've kind of got like, this is kind of like your session and arrangement all together, and you've also got other views in here as well. I don't know. I just kind of like this interface. I think it's really super cool. It's got Melodyne in it. You can work out. It's got a chord follower. So this is all to do with this track is all to do with a piano that I did. And yeah, I just like, I love the transport thing down the bottom here. How you can see much more information than you can see on Ableton. I just wonder, is this going to work? So yeah, and listen to that reverb tail. It's still going. Chris, you asked about elaborating on the differences between the SE02 and the Behringer Model D. The SE02 itself has more features. So let's go back to that view of it there. So basically you've got this whole patch sequencer and song system down the bottom, which is the bit that Roland's added onto it. And I mean, otherwise it's pretty much just a studio electronics bit of hardware, bit of analog hardware, right? So Roland added this stuff down the bottom. Now the sequencer not only enables you to sequence, notes and things like that, but also it enables you to sequence parameter changes. So every step can have a number of multiples. I don't know how many, I think it's 3 or something, but each step can have multiple parameter changes. And so, for example, you can have the filter opening and closing and, changing, but different to what you can with an LFO. Does that make sense? So you can set up crazy sort of filter skippings and things like that. You can also, the whole manipulation of the sequencer itself can be done crazy. You can see below where all those buttons are that you can see the LED sort of moving to the right. There's all this writing underneath, and all the writing corresponds to what mode you're in, whether in patch mode, sequence mode, or song mode. So, it's that whole side of it which Roland have implemented is nothing like any other boutique has got this in it. This is the only boutique that's got this particular setup in it, and it makes it very unique out of all the boutiques. Not to mention, it's the only boutique that Roland have made which is analog, because they didn't make it, Studio Electronics did. What also I like about it is the grittiness of you know, you can get the distortion happening with the feedback. You know, that you can see the feedback under the mixer section. So you can see the 3 oscillator knobs, and you can see the feedback knob. So, you know, it's kind of, it can be very grungy, this synth, very, very grungy, in a sense that it's almost kind of guitar-y, like an electric guitar in a way. I love it. It's amazing. And then you plug this thing into some effects, and this thing just, you know, takes off. It's a mono synth, and this thing can sound almost polyphonic the way it's so deep. It's really, really cool. In terms of sonic differences between the Model D and this, I haven't done an A/B, and I don't know, there's probably videos out there, but they do actually sound different. The oscillators sound different. I think it's just the circuitry. See you, Fluid. Thanks for joining us, Matty. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that really explains it, but I think, you know, generally speaking, I'll put it back over here. Generally speaking, I just think that, I mean, I own both of them, so, you know, obviously they're good enough to have both of them. What I'm going to be doing next, a bit of a sneak, is I'm getting a little Euro rack set up, and I'm going to be putting the Behringer Model D in my Euro rack. I'm really interested in getting a couple of these new Behringer synths that are coming out. The Pro 1, definitely getting that. I don't know if anyone knows, but the Pro 1 was pretty much the step before the Prophet 5. So basically it's kind of like a mono version of the Prophet 5, and it's just like it's another synth that just sounds completely unique. And so Behringer have just basically, you know, cloned it, so it's going to sound exactly like the original Pro 1, but they've also made it so that it's got all these modular patch points and things on that, so that's going to make it really, really cool. I'm also interested in the Crave that they've just announced, so I don't know when that's coming out. And so I'm probably going to end up with quite a lot of Behringer stuff, and I don't have a problem with that. I know there's people out there that do, but I don't. I think it's I think they make some really, really cool stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, I think that's probably about it. Unless anyone has any other questions, I think we'll probably end the stream. We've just gone a tiny little bit over time, but that's okay. Thanks everyone for joining in today, and we'll see you next Saturday. And, you know, don't forget to leave a comment below or even in this chat to let me know if there's anything that you want me to cover next Saturday. Hopefully I got the Volca modular and we can do that one. But you know, thanks so much for watching, and a big thumbs up to you guys, and thank you very much for letting me share my little synth world with you, and we'll catch you later. See ya.